Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. And first of all, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
And happy holidays as well.
Yes, Christmas is officially 2 days away for you guys. This is going up on Monday. We're shooting this on Sunday, but it's 12 a.m., so technically it is Monday. So this video is going up on Monday, and that means 2 days till Christmas, because Christmas is on Wednesday.
I got a new hat because you took mine.
Didn't take your hat.
Yes, you did.
We talked about
so I
this.
got a
okay, we're not going to go through what we did on the indie review again.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're still dressed in the attire from the indie review because it's still before Christmas. This is the last review on this channel before Christmas. This is probably going to be the second to last video you guys see from my channel before Christmas. I decided vlog before Christmas is going to go up the day of the night before Christmas. So Christmas Eve day is going to be the day vlog before Christmas part 3 goes up.
Okay.
So I'm pushing it to the night before Christmas. And I might even call, yeah, well, technically it is the vlog before Christmas.
Vlog indeed.
It worked. So, the books we're discussing in this episode, and we're going to be doing a briefy discussion because I know a lot of you guys out there are probably going to be watching this way after the holiday season. I know a lot of people have already gone away. Our friend Kevin being one of them. He got to go to Florida, lucky bastard.
To Disney World.
Lucky even more. So we're going to make this as brief as possible. This way when you come back and check this video out, if you're not watching it before Christmas, which I know a lot of you guys are still home and still will be doing, besides the point, we're going to make it brief, to the point, and yeah, it's late also.
So let's get to it.
December 18, 2013. Only one more week worth of books.
Yeah.
Thor, God of Thunder, issue number 16. This book is still heavy on the dialogue. This book kind of had a shocking moment in it. I'm going to share it with Michael, but I'm not going to really share it with you guys. But Thor did something I wouldn't think he would. Basically, before I get into that, I'm going to get into that scene. So, Malekith is now working with the Ice Giants, and Thor can't go after Malekith at this time. But Thor believes there is a traitor in his fellowship. Let's call it that. And he believes it's one person in particular. So what he does is what shocked me. And
what?
yeah, he uses his hammer.
Why?
And they don't pull any punches. I mean, they really that was so.
Tell me,
I had to
that
stop.
wasn't real.
No, that was real. I had to stop for a second.
What?
Because that is so out of character for Thor. Or maybe I'm wrong. Remember, this is the first ongoing Thor comic I've read.
I have never seen Thor do that.
Spoiler alert. So you understand what we're talking about. Thor believed one of the people in his group was a traitor, so he took his hammer and let's just say that guy's head was like a melon being squashed by the hammer.
You bring him to justice.
Never
do that.
I've never seen Thor use his hammer to.
Neither.
I mean, somebody he's work, and then we find out later on is a bigger spoiler for you guys. The woman elf that he's working with is not really the actual traitor. The traitor, and here's a spoiler alert in the last page of the book, was Thor. But he didn't know it. He had a bug in his system.
Also, was the bug that
was the traitor? Yeah.
Oh, well, then that explains it wasn't Thor himself. He was possessed by that. Basically.
But again,
but that wasn't necessary.
What transpired on these 8 pages was definitely very out. In my opinion, when I think of Thor, I never think of a character who would use his Mjolnir to bash somebody's head in, and they show it too, which is another kind of like wow moment. That was the shocker of the week for me, in my opinion. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe I had just read that in a Thor comic. So that was Thor: God of Thunder. It's finally over, everybody. Scarlet Spider issue 25. It jumps from the present to the past. The present is now Kane and Arsley are in Mexico. The past is concluding what happened at the end of the last issue. Basically, Kane saves everybody in the end. but he's still no longer welcome in Houston. Arsley is kind of trying to still, tell Kane you're still a hero. He's not believing that. The artwork in this book was awesome. The only thing that I had a problem with this book was the ending. It basically ended, well, first of all, before we get to the ending, we see how Kane defeats this person from the, I forgot what she was, but the shadow person he was fighting. He turns into the spider creature, and everybody sees Kane for what he truly is. Annabelle runs away. Wally tells him just get lost, and I'll deal with it on our own. They leave Texas forever, and they go on the road, and they go to Mexico.
So wait a minute,
they're at.
He just changes into the spider like randomly, or when something? No,
when he gets really infuriated.
So it's like the whole.
In the end, basically what we got in the first comic book. Basically, Kane's like, I tried, I could truly live again because I wasn't dying. That I believed that I could find a home, friends, love. I now have my answer. Not every story has a happy ending. I'm done trying to be something I'm not. I'm done trying to be a hero. The end.
Well, it says not the end.
Not the end, because Scarlet Spider will be joining the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Not with that attitude, he's not.
But this mindset, all 25 issues. If you guys didn't read Scarlet Spider, I don't feel like you missed out on a whole lot. First of all, Scarlet Spider was part of the Minimum Carnage series. Let's not forget that. And once again, with the all-new Marvel now, will we be seeing Scarlet Spider again? Maybe. I just hope that it's a different direction, a different story.
It's like after he turned into a spider, that's when this happened.
Yeah, it was downhill from then.
Yeah,
from that point. But it's always, I'm a monster, I'm a hero, I'm a monster, I'm a hero.
And I'm not
now finally we get that definitive answer that in his mind he finally comes to that definitive answer of I'm a monster, I'm not a human, I'm nothing. My story is never going to have a happy ending. The end. But of course, we all know this is leading into the New Warriors, not the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to correct myself before somebody in the comments does. It's all leading into New Warriors, where Scarlet Spider will be a part of them. Will we get another Scarlet Spider solo series? I say let him join the New Guardians for a while. Let a fan base grow. New Warriors. I know.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Let him work with the New Warriors for a while, and then when a fan base grows for him again, maybe try another ongoing series. But definitely go a different direction of I'm a monster, I'm a good person, I'm a hero. Go a complete, because the entire 25 issues was just him debating back and forth between himself, whether he was a good guy or a bad guy, and in the end he's still a good guy, but he thinks he's a bad guy, so nothing was really solved. It's a good thing the series ended. I don't think it would have lasted another 2 or 3 story arcs.
Alright, and we go into the shocking last issue, because I didn't know this was going to be the last issue.
I figured it was a miniseries.
Of Longshot Saves the Marvel Universe. This is where everything totally makes sense from what we saw from the past issues. We see Superior Spider-Man with the Doctor about the bear, and they want to run some tests about it, whereas the possessed Deadpool and Longshot have a fight. And what's about the bear is that it had to do with the Cosmic Cube, because remember when he used the Cosmic Cube, how everything was changing? The bear was actually one of them, and it in betweener exists between the realm of fact and fantasy, and there's like a whole big bunch of it, and it was a girl bear, not a boy bear, which I thought was sort of hilarious. Even this part right here where the Doctor tells Superior Spider-Man that how one time he was kidnapped by Dr. Octopus, and he did something that he didn't want Doc Ock to know, and the way he looks at him, like, I'll give you some artwork, by the way, which still has that awesome X-Factor feel to it. And mainly it was Deadpool versus Longshot, and he's getting all these memories, whereas Taco's healed Deadpool's possession. And we find out really more about the in-betweeners, about how they get together, once again. And there's an offer that the in-betweener tells him. Well, not an offer, like just saying what not to do, because if you cross paths, of what I just told you, I advise you to use it against it, or else they'll meet again. And the ending was just, I gotta just show this page because that was just a good way to end. So I don't know if this is gonna lead into the all new X Factor in the all new Marvel now, or something completely different. Because from what you told me, Longshot is gonna be in.
I'm not sure yet.
Well, basically from what rumors, I'll use that better. What rumors have said is Longshot might be in it, but I would recommend you buy the 4-part series. I would give it between a 4 to 4.5 out of 5 as my rating for both of them. So
All New X-Men issue number 20. Laura finally remembers who she is. She wakes up in an what do you call it? An jeez, why is the name leaving me completely? Weapon X facility.
Oh,
She's
wow,
surrounded by the past X-Men, and she thinks she's still hallucinating, and this is all resonating from Avengers Arena. This basically takes place after Avengers Arena. So Laura has been missing for an entire year. She's now back, but she's still questioning whether, you know, what she's seeing is real or fake, because she's been abused for over a year now. And Scott Summers actually tries to tell her, you know, this is real, you know, whatever happened, tell me what happened. And she doesn't want to tell him what happened. And as she's talking with him, she's healing more and more. You see her hair is very short, and then by the end of the conversation, her hair is back to its normal length. And Scott's like, we want to help you, you know, why don't you stick around? She's like, if I ever get my hands on those, if you could take me back to where we were, I could tell you exactly where the purifiers were, and we could take them out. And there's no kiss, by the way, so this cover is completely misleading. Scott tries to give X-23 a hug to make her feel better, and she's like, I don't hug, especially in front of crowds. And then we get a whole thing with the purifiers. You want to hear about the whole speech and talk that they're having, you go ahead. The X-Men, thanks to Laura, find the purifiers, and they attack.
Nice.
And take them out, try to take them out once and for all. But we find something out about the leader of the purifiers, and I'm not spoiling that until the next issue. But let's just say the leader of the purifiers isn't as quote-unquote human as the X-Men or anybody thought. So this is a fun read, a really good read, great dialogue. I really like young Cyclops. I wish young Cyclops could be the present-day Cyclops, because his personality is more of the Cyclops that I liked when I was growing up. Not this new Cyclops. I wish he would just get hit with a train already. Maybe if you kill the present Cyclops, the young Cyclops can build his way back up to being a
good guy.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, that's just a thought.
Let's actually do Cataclysm first. Cataclysm, Ultimate Comics X-Men issue number 2. In this issue, I like this issue a lot. Jimmy gets infected with Galactus, as they say.
Yeah.
And it turns out one of the mutants is Mach 2, was it? Is able to magnetize all of the Galactus, and she basically buys them a little bit of time. Artwork's really good. But like I said, later on, Jimmy does get actually infected by Galactus. And Rogue doesn't want to leave Jimmy behind, so she absorbs everybody's powers and tries to save Jimmy. She sort of manages to do it, and then with a little bit of help from, I believe, Mach 2, she's able to fully save Jimmy. However, there might be a death in the next issue. This is a really quick read. Apparently everybody thinks that what's his name is a spaz. Captain Marvel, aka oh god, what is his name? Rick Jones is a spaz. I feel bad for him, but yeah, he's been fighting Galactus for a while now, and lo and behold, the X-Men want to get out of there, but I think their only way home was just eliminated. It's a strong issue. I liked it. Again, I thought it was Michael's book. I actually had to speed read this right before this review. I completely forgot. I'm doing X-Men and Spider-Man, and he's doing the Ultimates. I completely forgot. So that's why I'm skipping over a few things, because I literally, in 5 minutes, sped read through this book because I thought it was his. and I didn't even bother reading it. So, there you go. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, issue number 34. Foggy is still in the hospital, and Matt basically is still going up against the Sons of the Serpent. And we get, I don't know why, it felt weird seeing Doctor Strange the way he was, but he's walking around with a cane and he's all hunched over, and Matt's talking to him about the pages and what he, basically a recap of the last 2 issues, and I don't know why, but Doctor Strange just did not look like Doctor Strange. But finally, he takes the initiative against the Sons of the Serpent, and he actually has, why can't I remember her name? I'm trying to remember her name.
We're just not good with names, but the artwork looks really,
yeah, I'm just
amazing.
trying to...
there is lots of action, though, that you would see in a
yeah, I'm just trying, I just wanted to get, Kristen. He asks Kristen for help. He basically makes up he gets a satellite and broadcasts to every single radio station all throughout New York, because basically the Sons of the Serpent are hidden among everybody. Lawmen, police officers, everybody. And he basically says, I have your precious pages right here, and if you want them back, you're going to deliver Jester to me. And they do, but of course it's a trap, and Kristen kind of goes a little tiny, itty bitty bit overboard with the radio transmitter, and it's a good thing that Daredevil's friend was there to help out, but basically he got the Serpent's attention, and he was able to bring the Jester at least to the police. The ending, though, next issue involves something. There's a phone call that's made at the end of this issue, and it's about Foggy. Oh, to be continued in the next issue. So that's an ending that has me going, no, you did not just leave me off with that. But yes, 2 more issues until this series concludes, just to start over again a month later. So, but this was a really good issue. I'm really loving Daredevil. Glad Mark Waid and Chris Samney are staying on this book when the next volume hits. Why there has to be a next volume when it's the same 2 people who are writing and drawing it is beyond my understanding, but whatever. Sure, why not? Just to stick all new on the cover. Sure, go right ahead, Marvel.
Deadpool issue number 21, Deadpool versus the Shield. In my opinion, I found this to be an okay issue.
Yeah, you had to have read it from the beginning to understand the beef between Deadpool and
which is why
that
I had a little
guy.
trouble with the book. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, Deadpool does show up in some of the panels.
And Doctor Strange,
and Doctor Strange, yeah, is also in it too. Artwork is pretty good. And basically, he's just talking about, you know, Deadpool's, about Deadpool and Agent Preston of finding minds and stuff like that. It's basically all
she's
about...
in Deadpool's mind, basically.
Yeah, so it's basically just finding themselves and what she needs to do to get back to that. So there's also many mentions of what the Shield is doing and what their plans are. If you want to find out, you can read the book yourself. And there's just really lots of dialogue, and the Shield wants Deadpool's head because of you know, lots of things that Deadpool did, because everyone wants Deadpool to be killed and everything. So he just texts everybody.
Yeah, he puts a bounty out on him.
Yeah, saying $10 million for those who can get him, and what was his name? That goes after him. Crossbones actually goes after him, and he tries to kill him. And he's like saying, you know, it's nothing personal. I'm just taking a contract, and he's just one cold-hearted person. Like, he's just saying, I just want to kill you. That's it. No reason. Just $10 million. That's basically it. And of course, Deadpool with his funny shenanigans, as always, that we see in the Deadpool comic book. So long story short, he sets off Crossbones into a hot air balloon, and he encounters with somebody, which
the last page I did see.
The last page. Let's just say somebody is planning to help out the whole killing Deadpool thing. And if you want to find out who the person is...
That was shock factor.
That was a shock factor. Read the comic book and see for yourselves. But it was a pretty okay issue in my opinion.
Superior Spider-Man, issue number 24. I have to say, I definitely 100% agree with Mike Spider-Slayer. This issue had a cluster of 1,000,001 things squished into this little issue. Now, issue 25 is supposed to be a giant-size anniversary issue. They're supposed to be double-sized, bigger story, and it's supposed to conclude Darkest Hour. So this issue basically was a ginormous setup for the next issue, I believe, which is weird because this is the second part to the story. But anyway, Superior is Venom. We all figured that out. We also find out that if Flash Thompson does not get the symbiote rebonded to him, he's gonna die.
Right.
His body has become so. What did the nurse, the woman, say? She said the drugs and the symbiote changed his biology so much that his body needs the symbiote in order to survive.
Well, that was always the case. The symbiote always helps them to survive.
No, but Flash will die without it.
The symbiote. Oh, that's wow.
So, and then there's a scene with Anna Marie, and she's very upset about what happened between them and Aunt May. We have the original Hobgoblin getting pissed off that he's not getting his money. We have another scene with Carly, and things aren't looking too good for Carly
oh, no.
when it comes to the end of her
scene. Well, then
again, I'm glad about one thing, though. Mary Jane isn't stupid anymore, at least not in this issue, because she's finally starting to question. She's like, this isn't you. Oh, where did she say it? What's going on with you lately? You're acting like a completely different person. Mm-hmm. Finally, MJ, and then there's a distress call. He turns into Venom. MJ panics, and then she makes a phone call, and somehow now the Avengers are involved. She calls the Avengers and says Spider-Man has been re-infested with the Venom symbiote, and he needs help.
So both Carly and MJ are both there.
Yeah, but now what MJ's going to think is that it's the symbiote that was controlling Pete's mind, not that it's actually Doc Ock. I mean, they can't make her that stupid, can they?
Well, she finally grew a brain at least to know that he was a completely different person.
Yeah, but now basically Pete could just say it was the Doc Ock would just say it was the symbiote that was controlling his mind.
That actually wouldn't be a surprise because that has happened in past Spider-Man issues.
I don't know, but that's your Superior. Can't wait for issue 25 to see where this goes. But we all know Flash is going to become Venom again because he can't live without being Venom now. Let's get into some better Spider-Man books, like Amazing Spider-Man 700.4. Unfortunately, .4 and .5 are the last of the Peter Parker run for now. Aww. So this is Marvel's little, here's 5 issues of Peter Parker. Now we got to go back to just Superior again. And notice none of these issues were written by Dan Slott. Not a one. Not a one.
Good.
So in this issue, Pete, they just realized that Spider-Man, this evil villain hospital, realized that they just treated Spider-Man, and they're saving him. So the doctor actually goes to other patients that Spider-Man is actually in the hospital, and he wants him to be dealt with. The nurses say, we should have just poisoned him, and the doctor said, no, we are healers, we're not killers, we're not like them, let them fight it out. And unfortunately, when everybody else finds out that Spider-Man was treated in the hospital, there's this humongous fight that breaks out in the hospital. And unfortunately, the hospital is destroyed. So now they have to move their practice. And Pete, again, he's questioning, is it really my fault? Because they're all blaming Spider-Man. Like, you ruined it again, Spider-Man. Why do you have to ruin everything we have? And it kind of ends with that. There's a secondary story called The Never-Ending Beatdown of Casey Mitchell. basically this kid keeps getting beat up by this big bully, and then he opens his mouth and says Spider-Man is his best friend, and he'll be there to help. And basically the rest of the story is him trying to get Spider-Man's attention, and he gets Spider-Man's attention the wrong way, but then in the end Spider-Man actually does show up, but there really is no fight or anything. It was a nice little side story, if anything. Really liked this issue. Love the cover, by the way. Whatever didn't come off on my fingers by now. I see already there's already a thumbprint. What can you do? Marvel, you better fix that. I mean, and also now inside your Marvel books, I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, I have pink.
Pink? Where?
Pink.
Oh.
Like ink splotches. And it's just on this page for this issue, but I've had other issues that had like several pages with the pink. I don't know. Your printers suck, Marvel. Again, do something, but of course you're not going to listen to me or anybody else who said your printing suck. Your printers suck. But anyway, Amazing Spider-Man 705 is my book of the week from Marvel. The first story was about...
There's more than one? Or?
Yeah, first it's a kind of funny story. Johnny Storm shows up, and it's a huge prank that involves time traveling and the Fantastic Four. Basically, Pete's ready to go to bed. He had a long night. And Johnny Storm comes in and says, I was just reached, the future thing came and told me to prevent Reed from touching this, at least until sundown. And then, long, funny story later, it ends in MJ's apartment. Pete opens up the bag and he's like, it's a joke. Future thing set this up years in the future, and then we actually have future Johnny Storm show up in the end of the issue and try to say like, hey, I have to tell you something, and things like, you're a day late. And I love what he says here. You'd think if we had a time machine, we'd come up with better uses for it.
Wow.
The second story was the best one, though. A kid who was defending or looking out for Spider-Man. It actually begins with Spider-Man taking this kid to the hospital. And it actually, this kid gets in the way to try to save Spider-Man, and he ends up getting shot in the back. And Peter Parker basically is there every single day, and the parents are like, who are you? You know, our son jumped in the way protecting Spider-Man, and the time is about to end. But long story short, the kid says Spider-Man's a hero. He figures out that Peter Parker's obviously Spider-Man. You can go behind the camera, Mike. Because he's been there the whole time, and unfortunately, though, the boy dies in the end. And we get a nice little touching scene at the end. But this was, wow, this was a heart-wrenching last story, and I don't even want to spoil the dialogue. You guys should definitely check out every single Amazing Spider-Man. I was worried that point 1 through 5 was going to suck. Yes, point 1 and 2 could have been told in one issue. I agree with Kat there. But with all 5 of these issues, all 5 points, this was a spectacular Spider-Man run. I miss Peter Parker. If anything, I learned that I really miss Peter Parker Spider-Man, and I can't wait for him to come back. So hang tight. We're going to take our commercial break, and we will be right back, after these messages. Alright, we are back. Welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review, everybody. We're going to do a digital comic, or a digital first, before we do the actual comics. Batman Beyond Universe, issue 5. I liked the Batman Beyond story. It was fun. It was a good read, and it involves Man-Bat, but once again, that story paled in comparison to the Superman Beyond story. Zod is now on Earth. I'm skipping the Batman Beyond story this time, guys. Want to try to get through as many books as possible. And this is a digital first book, so this is actually 2 months. This actually happened in November, or in the beginning of December, and went all the way through to now. So you guys already probably, if you're reading this book, you already know the story. But basically, all the electronics and computers and whatnot are going haywire. And at first, Warbird is blaming Zod because he thinks it's the boy, and Superman's like, it's not him. It can't be him. He won't believe that it's him. And everything's going haywire on Earth, and you got the entire Justice League Beyond fighting to kind of save everybody and shut down every single machine, which is almost impossible. And then Superman figures out exactly who's behind it in the end, and we all knew it from the last issue. It's Brainiac. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Going back really quick to the Batman Beyond story, it's mostly about Man-Bat. It's all a setup for the next issue, really. Man-Bat wants X amount of money, or else he's going to set something off in Gotham that's going to kill everybody. The end. And Terry's kind of deaf because of a fight he had at the beginning of the issue, so he has to wear these things that stimulate his ear to actually hear. It's temporary, but basically he loses those machines. He's completely deaf. So, interesting first issue for Batman Beyond. Really good follow-up story arc to the Superman or Justice League Beyond story arc. Green Lantern New Guardians issue 26. What the hell am I reading now? I mean, this complete story, it was pointless. This was a forgettable story that's basically still changing his personality? No, it's basically over. The solution to the whole problem is for the creatures to reach out to all the would-be, all the timelines that they stole from and offer them the same paradise that they have. Offer them basically to come over to their Earth. And we learn that's it. That's it. There's nothing of value until you get to the last page where we have the Guardians talking and they're like, and did you learn what you wish to learn from them, from all this? And the other Guardian goes, no, Lantern Rainer does not understand what he saw beyond the Source Wall, but they are coming and he's not ready. They're coming and he's not ready. Either this is setting up for another Green Lantern crossover when really they need to chill that out, or this is setting up for a major event that's going to happen in New Guardians. That's a little bit better. But if this is a big setup for next year's big Green Lantern event, please, staff that's writing Green Lantern right now, stop trying to top Jeff Johns' events. You can't come onto a book, give us Lights Out, and then follow it up in, what, it's been 4 or 5 months, with another story arc based off of the end of Lights Out, what happened with Kyle beyond the Source Wall. They're coming. It could, maybe it's the entities. They're coming back and I don't know. But I got nothing from this issue. There's nothing of value from this issue at all. I'll be honest, I'm going to stick with it maybe 1 or 2 more issues, and if we're getting the same crap where it's like, oh, he's on this planet, and then he's going to leave, and then we're not going to care about, there's no ramifications to Kyle or anything, I'm going to drop it. I'm sorry. I can't. Even all the Lantern books since Jeff Johns has left the creative thing, it's kind of, Jeff Johns, if you're watching this, somehow get yourself re-involved in Green Lantern, or it's just going to spiral downward into the poopville. Anyway, Animal Man issue 26, we find out where Buddy was sent to, and basically that's the entirety of this book. He was sent to this alien world, where at least that's what he believes he's in, and he's fighting all these weird creatures, and there's this gigantic creature whom he actually does take down, finally. And all in all, it's basically a competition to, or basically it's a bunch of candidates to become something, and the winner basically becomes it, and he meets this person, and she is the Bridge Walker, and this was a whole candidate competition to find out who the next Bridge Walker would be, and guess who won? Buddy. And we find out that the Bridge, the Bridge Walker basically is part of Seed World, which is basically in between every single world, and it keeps even everything between the rock, the green, and the red. And Buddy is the next seeder because he won the competition. So he becomes the next Bridge Walker. And he said, I can't do that. My family is in danger right now. I need to go back and save them. And the Bridgewalker says, no, I'm about to die. I'm going to die in a year or two, and you have to take over from me. And they strike a deal where he'll go back and save his family and prepare them to be safe without him, because whenever the Bridgewalker dies, he's going to be called back to that world, and he's going to stay there for all eternity until he dies, and then somebody will supersede him. So Buddy gets sent back to the Red, and he comes face to face with the only Red Totem left, who basically is the reason why Brother Blood is actually in the Red to begin with. So next issue is probably going to be Buddy versus this Totem and Brother Blood. So, straightforward issue. I don't like this whole Seed World, Bridgewalker, Part 2 Animal Man. I don't like that whole thing that now in the back of our minds we're going to know that once the Bridgewalker dies, Buddy's going to leave Earth forever. I mean, yes, it'll probably never happen, but in the back of our minds we're going to know that when that does happen, whether we see it in the comic world or as a reader or not, Buddy at some point will be joining or leaving Earth and becoming the next Bridgewalker. That, or maybe they will show it at some point in the future and he'll somehow get out of becoming the Bridgewalker. I don't know. Batman and Two-Face issue 26. Bruce Wayne basically has Erin in Wayne Manor for protection. We get more background story. It turns out Erin wasn't the only one. It turns out she had a sister, Shannon. And it's because of Harvey Dent that they're stuck in jail. So basically Harvey isn't as innocent as we thought he was at the beginning of the story arc. Yes, Erin made Two-Face, but it's because basically he was fighting to keep them in jail. I'm not going to say how Erin escaped, but basically it was at the cost of her sister's life, and that's why Harvey Dent was turned into Two-Face. And then there's a huge thing in the end with Erin, Two-Face, and Erin's family, and Batman shows up, and things don't look good for him either. It's a whole cluster at the end. It's a huge cluster at the end. Huge cluster of madness that happens. So, can't wait to see the next issue. I believe the next issue is the conclusion, if I'm not mistaken. Because, no, there's a couple more issues of Batman Two-Face because... No! Yeah, because then they're going to go into the Ra's al Ghul story arc. So there's a couple more issues.
The Ra's al Ghul story arc's in Red Hood and the Outlaws.
No, but Batman's going after Ra's al Ghul. After Batman and Two-Face, yeah, Batman's going to be joining with the Justice League to get his hands on Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, okay, I see.
This was a quick read this week, actually. Supergirl issue 26. She goes to Dr. Veritas. She basically, well,
that Lobo's in it.
The real Lobo. Oh, don't worry.
Original?
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Things might be over. I'll explain. It was straightforward. Lobo doesn't know where his imposter is. The Lobo we all know and love. And he reaches out again to, oh god, what was this person's name? Rahila. And Rahila actually says there's a person on Earth who might be able to help you. And then you have Supergirl who shows up at the block, basically, which is run by Dr. Veritas. And in previous story arcs, when we found out that Supergirl was poisoned by kryptonite, she actually left the block and stole one of her Dr. Veritas' bikes and traveled off into space, which then led into the Cyborg Superman story arc that we all saw. And she actually tells Dr. Veritas everything that's happened to her and how she was actually cured. And then Veritas is like, I'm a scientist. What you need right now is a friend. And she's like, I tried to go back to my friend. She already got a new roommate, and maybe she's better off without me. And then Rahila actually reaches out to Dr. Veritas and warns her that she actually sent somebody to her. And Dr. Veritas actually asks Supergirl to help ward him off, so to speak, or try to talk. Supergirl doesn't want to fight him. She actually wants to talk it out with him. And because they're the last of their species, Lobo's the last of his species, and she and her cousin are the last of theirs. And yeah, talking never works. And there's a fight that happens. And let's just say the ending, there might only be one Lobo after this ending.
Ooh.
I don't think that's true though. I think we'll find out in the next issue exactly.
I hope the other Lobo comes back, because to be honest, in my opinion, this new Lobo that they showed you,
he has a split personality. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. And his two personalities actually, the one that says he's sorry has these little lines at the top, and the one that says I'm not sorry is just a big black box. So maybe he's split personality. In the book right here, it actually shows you. Where is it? Too far. I'm getting sick of this Mad magazine. I wish DC would stop printing it in their book. See.
Oh, the different signs.
There's like not Veritas, and then you got the regular black one that's saying something opposite. So, really good issue though. I enjoyed it. Can't wait to see the next issue to see what actually does happen with Lobo. Next is your book.
Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 26. Going back to the story of Ra's al Ghul and Jason Todd. And basically, Ra's al Ghul just wants answers from Jason Todd about, like, you know, just everything, and, you know, and he just wants to kill him with all that. So Jason is trapped in the other universe, whereas they want him to suffer, but with everything else. Here's some artwork, by the way, which is pretty good. Well, actually, it's amazing, not pretty good. So there's just a whole big scene where Jason Todd's saying, you know, it's all my fault. You know, I should have not pushed Red Arrow. He talks to Roy. Like, I should not push away from Stargirl and everything else.
Starfire.
Oh, Starfire. Sorry. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, and he just keeps blaming himself of everything else. And Roy tries to cheer him up by saying, you know, just suck it up and don't worry about the past, because he's, from what I see, wants to give up and stuff like that. Jason Todd sees what's going on. He's like saying, I can't let that happen. And he just wants to remember just literally everything in his memories. Because he was afraid to look at his memories, but he got all that. So Jason Todd comes back in action, and he fights off with these bats, along with other people with hand-to-hand combat. Even Benjamin, who is the tiger, who was his friend, from what I saw, because I read the middle part of this story. And Starfire saves Jason Todd from the battle, and now it's Roy, Starfire, and Jason Todd who are working together. And there's just this epic thing in the end right here, which looks really awesome, and it's to be concluded.
Not the series, the story arc.
No, not the series, the story arc, yeah. But it has picked up from, not from Zero Year, from the other part of the comic book. Really interesting. I will explain more in in-depth comic review on Dark Avenger, because I did leave some stuff out, because I want you guys to definitely check it out and read it for yourselves.
Harley Quinn issue number 1. This story, this is DC's answer to Marvel's Deadpool, 100%. Harley is definitely, she doesn't break the fourth wall, but she's got the personality. Harley gains let's try this again. She's going to Coney Island.
Oh,
ironically, you're going to recognize it. She's on the road to Brooklyn, to Coney Island, because she actually got a house. As you can see, all the Suicide Squad and
nice
Batman
costume.
comics. The artwork is spectacular. She, I don't remember how she got it, but she, I think the person who lived there died, and she, how do you say got it? Like, she inherited it.
Okay.
So, and I tell you, I look at this and you can recognize exactly where this is in Coney Island. I recognize this block 100%.
definitely.
So that's what we're talking about. We live near Coney Island, so this is like looking at home. So she gets the lowdown on the entire place. The good news is there's so much good news, and then she gets slapped with the bad news. She has to pay off back taxes and real estate taxes and insurance. And now she has to get a job. And basically, there's a hit put out on her. I love the beginning of the issue because I'm going to re-mention the beginning of the issue because I think it's this guy that put the hit out on her somehow. This is guy that's dragging this dog, this poor dog, and it gives her a sad face. She saves the dog and drags the guy around. But apparently it might not have been the guy because people, this guy on the motorcycle started shooting at her at the beginning of the issue, so maybe it was something else. But anyway, she goes into 2 different jobs. One as a, what was it? A therapist, and one as a roller rink, or roller derby person. Yeah, person's a good thing. And she gets the job at the roller derby, and she also gets the job as a therapist. And then at the end of the issue, Harley finds out that there was a hit put out on her.
So she finds out the hard way.
And there's some really nice characters in here, like Big Tony, who actually befriends Harley at the very beginning of the comic. You could tell that this is going to be a really good comic. Was it as good as issue 0? No. Was it good, though? Yes. Would I definitely recommend it? Yes. Hopefully in the next issue things will pick up a little bit. Once again, it's issue 1. It's setting everything up. If you didn't read issue 0, that was the 4th wall breaking, but it did actually set up for issue 1, and now issue 1 is setting up for the actual series. I loved it. Love Harley. Going to be getting the next issue. Absolutely, positively. Hopefully things get a little bit better, though. It was a little bit shorter than the other one.
Forever Evil Blight, Trinity of Sin, Pandora, issue number 6.
Yep, he's taking over Pandora now.
Yes, well, I did say I was going to cover the Forever Evil Blight. And basically, to sum up this whole book, it was just them going against the Blight character.
Oh, so
or Blight, Chris, who is Blight, yeah. They're just trying to figure out, you know, how they're going to take him out and how they're going to kill Blight.
Without killing Chris.
Without killing Chris, exactly. So
that much I remember you talking about in the last issue of Phantom Stranger.
Right, and Phantom Stranger said, like, Chris is my responsibility, and we must save him, while Pandora... Artwork is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, Pandora's artwork is really good.
Pandora tries every which way to defeat him, and, you know, and then there's just a whole bunch of other stuff that happens with Swamp Thing, Nightmare Nurse, and everything else, with Phantom Stranger saving the people, and one person says you're a hero, and then he says no I, and that's how they cut it off right there. So John Constantine is just saying, you know, like we all have no clue how to take this thing down. Like, we're not attacking, and there has to be another plan. So you know, there's just this whole thing about marks that they're doing called the Dung Kunlun. Like, everyone gets it, like Swamp Thing, Phantom Stranger, surprisingly, before he changed his mind, and also Pandora. So, you know, there's just a whole big thing of how Pandora's going to distract Blight to see if this works. And, well, things really don't end up so well in the end. And we're gonna find out what all this.
Aren't they at the House of Mystery again?
No, this is at Dr. 13's house.
Oh.
Unless it is. I mean, I don't know, but that's what it looks like. And it'll continue next week in Justice League Dark, issue number 26. So
not next week, the week after next.
No. So
there is no Justice League Dark next week. No Justice League Dark next week?
Well, whenever Justice League Dark comes out, I want to get an explanation of that last scene of what happened. But
next week we only have Justice League, Forever Evil 4, and then the rest are all Marvel.
Oh, right.
There's only 2
yeah,
books.
You told me, because, yeah.
There's only 2
so maybe
books.
the week after. Whenever
yeah,
Justice
maybe they
League
made
Dark
a mistake. That happens.
It happens all the time.
So,
but, yeah. Is it Book of the Week? Yeah, I would say that's Book of the Week, Pandora. Okay.
Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion issue 3 of 6. The Rogues are now in Gotham, and they are I love how they say that they're in the middle of the war in Gotham, but they're really not. They fall into Poison Ivy's basic hands. She kisses the Trickster, poisoning him, and then blackmails the Rogues into helping her get sunlight to her plants and rain, or she'll just let the Trickster die. We actually get to see the ventriloquist here.
That was cool.
This was creepy, but the ventriloquist actually has black hair, so artists really need to talk with each other before...
yeah, because...
And she only had one doll, so it was kind of weird. It's like a completely different character, but anyway. So the Rogue, Mirror Master comes up with a plan. Weatherman stays behind with Trickster and Poison Ivy. Mirror Master and... Heatwave? Was it?
I think it was Heatwave.
Yeah. Go to get the supplies they need, but they're on Man-Bat's territory.
I figured he would come in this.
So it's not. It's his people that come in, and there's a huge fight that happens between them and the Man-Bats. However, Mirror Master and Heatwave are able to escape, and Mirror Master manages to give Poison Ivy the sunlight she needs. But, of course, she wants more, so she tries to keep them prisoner. However, Trickster and the attack on Poison Ivy by the Man-Bats actually allow the Rogues to escape. But, spoiler alert, they escape into the arms, as you guys saw from the next cover, of Mr. Freeze. So, the conclusion of Gotham in the Rogues Rebellion miniseries concludes next week, and then from Metropolis they head back to Central City for, I believe, the last 2 issues.
But that's something else.
This was really good. Captain Cold wasn't in this issue at all. It was strictly just the Rogues and what happened to them in Gotham. Of course, Trickster was healed.
Well, along with fixing the mirror, so that way they could get back to the universe as well, which is also mentioned in this comic.
Right. So, next issue it's going to be the Rogues versus Mr. Freeze. This was a really good read. Out of all the miniseries that came out of Forever Evil, there's Rogues Rebellion. Last week we talked about Arkham Wars, and this week, and then next month we're going to be doing Argus.
That's why.
Argus I didn't really care for. Michael did. Arkham War I like it, but it's my second place. Rogues Rebellion is still my first place pick. Really love this series. If you're going to pick anything for Forever Evil to read, or one miniseries I feel that would be an enjoyment to read, Rogues Rebellion.
Next 100%. To Argus as well.
And Arkham War.
And yeah.
So we're done this week, guys. As I did, I tried to keep it as quick as possible. This way you guys didn't have too much to check out or look back on if you're looking at this after Christmas, or if you're watching this before Christmas. I still tried to give you a shorter episode, but I doubt we did that. So let's finish this off.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody. See you later.
All right. So let's round out the week with this week's books. Rogues Rebellion issue 3, definitely something to check out. Pandora issue 6.
Book of the week, excellent issue. Can't wait to see what happens in Justice League Dark.
Harley Quinn number 1, not as good as number 0, but still really good, something to check out. Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 26.
It was a great issue. Can't wait to see what's more to come in Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Supergirl issue 26 was basically a recap of everything that's gone on with Supergirl since she left Earth, which basically is Return of Krypton and the Cyborg Superman and a little bit before that. Up to you guys. Lobo's in it and probably out of it by the next issue the way things look. Batman and Two-Face issue 26. Up to you guys if you want to check out the Batman Ant series. I can't wait for the next story arc, to be honest. Animal Man 26 was okay. I leave it up to you guys. Green Lantern New Guardians issue 26. I don't know what's going on with the Green Lantern side of the DCU. Batman Beyond Universe issue 5. Really good. Highly recommend you guys check this out if you're not already checking it out digitally. Book of the week is Amazing Spider-Man 705. 700.5, not 705, 700.5. Really good story. Amazing secondary story. Spider-Man 700.4, another good book, something to check out. Superior Spider-Man issue 24, a humongous setup for a tiny book. Deadpool issue 21.
Pretty okay issue. I'll see what goes on next in Deadpool.
Daredevil issue 34, Mark Waid and Chris Samney are still knocking it out of the park. Definitely something to check out. Ultimate Cataclysm, Ultimate Comics, X-Men issue 2. Really good. If you're interested, check it out. If not, you won't. Because this is the X-Men's point of view of Cataclysm. All New X-Men issue number 20 was really good. Something to check out. Longshot Saves the Marvel Universe, issue 4, The Grand Conclusion.
Great issue as well as a great series. Can't wait to see if he'll be in the All New X Factor or anything else, but recommended to get. Absolutely.
Scarlet Spider issue 25, the debate, am I a monster, am I a human, is over. I leave it up to you guys, but if you haven't been reading it up to this point, this is the last issue, just wait for New Warriors. And finally, Thor, God of Thunder, issue 16. This had the hugest shock moment in the week for me. I was shocked to see this scene, as in this was not in his character to do, but apparently for Jason Aaron it is. Okay, guys, don't forget to also check out comicrelated.com, Comic Frontline, and Dark Avenger Inc. We are all your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and more. Trying to give you guys as much content as we can, 365 days in the year. I would say on the hour, but that's a little bit too much of a stretch because we all do actually work also. But 365 days in the year, there's always something somewhere. There are also a bunch of external, there's a bunch of links on Dark Avenger Inc.'s channel page, which is to other sites that one or more of our members are a part of. If you're interested, definitely check those out. If you guys enjoyed this review and are not already subscribed to my channel and you would like to see more, please click the sub button. This way I'm in your sub box and you don't miss out on a single review. Vlog before Christmas will be the day of, the night before Christmas. Announcement video will be next week, leading into 2014, teasers and stuff like that. Same thing for Dark Avenger Inc. 2014. We have something before the year ends for Dark Avenger Inc., so look forward to that. Also, don't forget the live show is going to be this week on Thursday, not Tuesday, due to the fact that Tuesday is Christmas Eve. And, why do I feel like I'm forgetting something now? Nope, okay. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas if that's what you're celebrating. If not, Happy Holidays. Take care, everybody. Hope you guys get everything you wanted. I already know. Thank you for the vibrating. Hope you guys get everything you wanted, or at least most of the things you wanted. Take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. Happy Holidays. Merry Christmas. And from everybody here, or from myself and Mike, have a Dark Avenger Merry Christmas. I totally made that up just off the top of my head now, but take care, everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Later, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Holidays.
See you guys afterwards.